Before we look at finding the highest common factor and lowest common multiple using prime factors, we need to understand what a prime factor is. So a prime factor is just a factor of a number that is also a prime number. For example, if we look at the factors of 27, we can break 27 down into its components. So we could say, well, 27 we know is 1 times 27. I'm not going to write that down. But it's also made up of 3 multiplied by 9. 3 9s are 27. 3 is a prime number. If I circle that, we can't break that down any further because that only has factors 1 and 3. If we look at 9, we could split 9 into more factors. We can split that into 3 and 3. So 9 is 3 times 3. 3 is a factor of 9. 3 is also a prime number. They are also prime factors. If we look at this now, we know that 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3 is 3 times 3 is 9 times 3 is 27. These are called the product of the prime factors. Let's look at a second example. If it's a multiple of 2, we know we can divide it by 2. Our 2 is a prime number, so 2 times 21. We know 21 is divisible by 3, and 3 times 7 is 21. They are both prime numbers. So now we have got all their prime factors. Their prime factors are 2, 3, and 7. So if we're asked to find the prime factors, they are 2, 3, and 7. If we're asked to find the product of primes, or to show it as a product of primes, we would show it as 2 times 3 times 7. So you need to be careful with questions here. Sometimes you're asked to find the prime factors, other times you're asked to show something as the product of primes. Let's look at one more example. Let's find the prime factors of 81. In this case, I know that 9 multiplied by 9 is 81. 3 by 3 is 9. They are both prime numbers. Circle them. Same here. So if you're asked to find the product of primes, that is 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3. That can be shown in index form as 3 to the power of 4. So what about using prime factors to find the highest common factor and the lowest common multiple? This is where we use a Venn diagram. So let's get a question for this. We're going to find the highest common factor and the lowest common multiple. Now you can use this method to find one or both, so it's one method for both, of 28 and 42. So in this case, step 1 is to find the prime factors of each number. Let's do that here. Okay, so the factors of 28 are 2, 2, and 7, and the prime factors of 42 are 2, 3, and 7. Let's just write them down here. Notice I've left them with commas and not multiplication. We're not asked to find the product of primes. We're going to use the prime factors, so I've written them down here. Step 2 is to draw a Venn diagram. So here's my Venn diagram. As you can see, this circle here on the left represents 28. This circle on the right represents 42. So now we put the prime numbers into the Venn diagram. We have got 2 in both 28 and 42. That is shared, so that goes in the middle. Notice you only put one value here because it's shared in this circle and in this circle. We have another 2 that is only with the 28. We have a 7 which is shared with both, that goes in the centre again, and we have a 3 left over that was only with the 42. So step 4, the highest common factor is the product of the shared values. So the shared values are those. So we can see the highest common factor of 28 and 42 is 14. Step 5, the final step, is to find the lowest common multiple, and that is the product of all of the values in the Venn diagram. So in this case, it's all of those values multiplied together. 2 times 2 times 7 times 3 is 84. So our highest common factor is the product of the shared values. In this case it's 14, and our lowest common multiple is the product of all of the values, which is 84. So in this example, we're going to be asked to find the lowest common multiple and highest common factor of 3 numbers. So we're going to find the highest common factor and lowest common multiple of 12, 18 and 30. Step 1, find the prime factors. So here we have the prime factors of 12, 18 and 30. So now we put this information into this Venn diagram. First thing we do is write out the prime factors. Notice I've written them in order, so it's a bit easier then to see which numbers are shared. I have 2 in all 3 of them. So that goes in the centre one that is shared by all 3 circles. I have a 2 only in the 12, there's no more 2s. I have a 3 that is shared in all 3 of them. Again, sits in there. I have a 3 that is only in the 18, and I have a 5 that is only in the 30. Step 4, the highest common factor is the product of the shared values. These are the shared values. So 6 is the biggest factor that fits into 12, 18 and 30. you think about it, that makes sense because 2 times 6 is 12, 3 times 6 is 18, and 5 times 6 is 30. Our lowest common multiple is the product of all of those numbers. So we have got 2 times 3 times 2 times 3 times 5. That is 180. So we tend to use prime factors to find the highest common factor and lowest common multiple when writing out all the multiples or writing out all the factors becomes a little bit time consuming. This is quite a quick method if you don't recognize the factor or recognize the multiple.